I am Sandra Ramirez, and I'm about to present my project called World Conflicts. Anyways, world conflict. What is it? The world A world conflict is a disagreement of anything between one or more countries, and it also can be a terrorist group attack like ISIS bombing or an invasion, a country at its own civil war, a disputation over territory, war with another country, or overthrowing the government. Going on to war on terror. What does this really mean? Well, war on terror is referred as to the international military campaign or an ideology of fear and repression that creates enemies and promotes violence rather than instigating acts of terror and strengthening security. For this to really happen, the government should address terrorism through civil liberties and human rights, but they really don't do this. Onto Al Qaeda. Well, basically, after the terrorist attack on September 11th of 2001, also known as 9/11, the war on terror began once the corps undertook a duty on the western borders, catching and neutralizing Al Qaeda and the Taliban operatives. Although it had not been involved to such an extent as the Sixth Corps, the NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, or also called the North Atlantic Alliance, led international involvement in Afghanistan, like the fall of the Taliban government in Afghanistan, the kill of Osama bin Laden, the closure of ISAF, and transfer of combat roles to Afghanistan armed forces. Onto Francis and ISIS. First of all, we should get into a little depth into ISIS. Well, we know it's a group of people that used to form the Al Qaeda, and that they were establishing. Well, they really want to establish a caliphate, and for those people that do not know what a caliphate is, it's a form of Islamic government led by a caliph, which is a person considered a political and religious successor to the Islamic prophet Muhammad and a leader of the entire Muslim community. And on the Paris attack, no one really knows who or why they did such an act, but the most possible theory, according to the Brookings Institution, will make Keynes forging powers if basically they're saying if you bomb us in Iraq or Syria, you will pay the same price at home, which is basically like they're basically saying they're ready for war, even though there are a small group of people. They will they will they will have war with us. Anyways, and many others suggest that the attacks planned the assault using encryption technologies that hid online communications and the hackers on social media accounts linked to ISIS. Which basically they hacked many Twitter accounts and some Facebook, anything like that. They're basically mostly hacked the unused accounts, the ones that people like literally dropped. Anyways, on to what I was saying. The evidence after the Paris attack shows the attackers may have coordinated with uncrypted devices, meaning signs of a upcoming assault was out in the open. And President Francisco Hollande from France had called this the worst violence witnessed in France since World War II. It was an act of war planned outside the country with inside plates. Anyways, since France is a part of the US-led coalition against ISIS, whose efforts have helped put the group on the defense, they have conflicts. Well, ISIS has already had conflict because they're Iraqi Sunnis and Shias. That's what basically sustains the ISIS group is just them. Anyways, people say that Iraq's former minister made the ISIS problem worse, but still, I think they're just blaming him for the fact that he's in power or was. ISIS also has a huge amount of territory in Syria, and that's where they basically fund themselves through the oil found in Syria and then extraction racks. And basically, the global oil market was really spooked by ISIS' intentional advance, but now the effect is minimal. Anyways, since the US and Iran are tactically cooperating in Iraq, the US is wanting to wage a campaign to destroy ISIS. And many people blame Obama for the growth of ISIS. Anyways, some of the major conflicts in the world is like in South Sudan. Many places are being dominated by conflicts and wars and raging. And in 2012, large parts of the north had come under the control of Islamic fighters, so France had to fight back against them. I guess that's why the ISIS is, kind of terrible for right now. Anyways, I'm gonna let y'all watch this YouTube video. It is basically This video basically shows how the world conflicts are in every world. It has no sound. I am so sorry. Anyways, This video visualizes wars and armed conflicts in many countries since the end of the World War One. Anyways, it highlights all the places that have had conflict, like Israel, Pakistan, American. Like we had the American Revolution, so we know a lot about that. The war in Afghanistan, the Gulf War. I think they're talking about the little place right here. I don't remember what the name is at, but I don't really think there's anything here in the Mexican Gulf, anyways. We had the Vietnam War. Vietnam's right here, and the Korean War, and also wars in Mexico, and so on. Anyways, terrorist attacks. Yeah, let me get out of this. Face it. Anyways, terrorist attacks increased 9 times since war on terror. What is that? Anyways, back what I was saying. Anyway, terrorist attacks increased 9 times since war on terror declared back 14 years ago. Ever since of the tragic event of 9/11, the U.S. President George W. Bush declared a war on terror. The certification by the National Center for the Study of Terrorism and the Response to Terrorism, or START, have included all global